Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, your weekly dose of nerdy news. I am CJ Mellon, joined, of course, by the stars of the show, Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
I have triumphantly returned.
You were definitely missed last week.
I could tell.
Oh, yeah?
People text me.
I have to thank Craig. He stood in for you, and he did an admirable job.
My kids think Craig looks like Kevin Owens, a professional wrestler.
I would have to Google.
You will.
That's
you
too
will.
much
Who?
effort to get. You want me to go Google?
No, not at the
Who?
moment. No, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay, later on.
Yeah.
Who?
Kevin Owens. My kids think Craig looks like Kevin Owens, a professional wrestler.
Google. Gonna Google Kevin Owens. Why is the first autocomplete Kevin Owens' wife? Does he have a hot wife?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
my first autocomplete.
That's
too.
my next Google search. Oh, he kind of does. Craig's beard is more epic, though.
I clicked on a link of like a selfie of her, and it and the caption is Kevin Owens makes short fat guys everywhere proud.
So the internet wasn't exactly overflowing with nerdiness this week, but we found the nuggets on the web that we definitely need to talk about. And the first thing that we're going to start off with this week, because Brian is back and we've missed him, we're going to start with Cape Talk.
Cape Talk.
So Marvel is now going to start advertising their comic books on TV and in movie theaters before Marvel films. This is pretty cool because this is kind of how, advertising used to work. A big brand would put up all their other stuff before the movies, and the news would come before the movies. And Marvel is really trying to capitalize on taking the people who love the Marvel films, and like we do every single time we talk about a comic book with Brian, go, how do I start? Where do I begin? Like, we want to, people want to be comic book nerds, but they just feel really intimidated.
Did you just mock yourself? Because
Yeah,
you're
I
the
did.
one who's like, how do I start? Where
Yeah.
do I begin?
And that's how I sound. So yeah.
Okay, totally.
So
Makes sense.
what they're going to do is they're going to publicize the upcoming comic event Secret Empire. And this is going to start happening before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And then it's also going to happen on ABC, presumably around Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., to advertise the upcoming comic book series. What do we think about the fact that we're going to be seeing comics now on big screens and silver screens?
I think that comic books are going to be one of the first proliferated sources of printed media to die, and I don't want that. So I think this is great, right? I mean, because comic books, think about it. People still buy comic books, which is awesome, but also kind of insane. I don't like personally the feel of reading a comic book on a PC or on
You bite your tongue.
I don't like the feel of reading it on a PC or an iPad.
Okay, I feel better now.
I don't like it. I don't like a digital comic book. I prefer holding the book. However, comic book publishers don't have money like newspapers or periodicals. You know what I mean? So it's going to be more difficult for them to stay afloat. This is exactly what comic books need, I think.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be nice because they're gonna tell their fans really to go into local comic book shops and retailers. So they're going to help, small businesses, and they're going to help people that are in this niche, market. I don't think
Do the theaters get to sell ad space to local businesses? Because that would be pretty awesome too.
Well, I mean,
especially when you consider local economy, people needing job. Like theaters get busier, they give their people more hours. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and everything that I've read about this is that it's not going to be a push for the digital comic book phase. Not saying that maybe there won't be an aspect to that, but they're going to start pushing towards local comic book shops. Brian, you've worked in a comic book shop for over a decade or so. What do you feel about this coming into such a larger audience and maybe exciting a few new fans?
First off, when you use the word decade, you make me feel old.
Well, it's true, man.
Secondly, I think that's actually great. I mean, even when I was a kid, collecting comic books, there was no advertisements for comic books. Anybody who got into comic books got into it because of somebody else.
Word of mouth, right?
It's all word of mouth and businesses and
down to the shop you go to. Down to the shop,
exactly.
Right, and the retailer, that the word of mouth advertising for comic book shops is it. If the people that buy books there don't like the guy behind the counter, they don't go there.
Yep.
Right.
But I was behind the counter, so
clearly that's why, right?
Just saying.
I get it. Yeah.
No, I mean, I definitely see in the decade that I worked for the comic book store, you don't see as many like new people coming in or new readers or young readers. Like you have your niche market who've been collecting since they were kids. That could be the 80s or, earlier. And that's it. So like,
I
once
imagine
those
you all
people-
aging together. Like I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
Imagining you behind the counter and a bunch of all the same people just aging together, which is a strange thought.
But but once those people can't or don't collect comic books anymore, there's no new way to reach new readers. So I think this is a great idea, especially if it helps out the industry.
I don't want it to convert to digital.
I guarantee you, like it'll be like at the end, check out your local comic book store or digitally. Like it's like the Doctor Strange available on Blu-ray and DVD today.
Right.
Like it's going to be that thing.
Huh.
But yeah, I think that's a great opportunity, especially for an industry that has been like up and down, and it's had its really high peaks, and it's been like on the cusp of bankruptcy all the time. So
the difference really between a comic book and like a magazine and or a trade publication is that they're collectible, right? Is the fact that there's trade that goes on with them. There's variant covers of things to entice people to buy multiple
appreciate in value
copies.
over time too,
right?
Unlike your Cosmopolitan, that's not going to appreciate in value
at varying rates, my friend.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, not every
the
comic book
maxim
you get.
I have from 1998 begs to differ, sir.
Listen, every comic book you get is not going to be worth money 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, but some of them are. And that's really important for like a collector like myself.
It's a good thing, and I'm really interested to hear anyone who has a comic book store or anyone else to see what happens after they do this. Does business pick up? Is it something that happens? And I'm just also really curious as to who's going to be courageous enough to go after the film. Hey, let's go over to the comic book store and pick up this series. And I also think that this is better than like Free Comic Book Day or something like that, because people just go, "Oh, cool, thanks for that," and then that's the end
oh my
of it.
gosh, the amount of people like
They
I
end
like
up
my
in
free comic book,
the
please.
trash can outside the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they look at it and it's not a name that they recognize. Like, I don't know who the superhero is.
There's a bunch of stuff on Free Comic Book Day that you would recognize, but
by the time Joe Schmoe public goes there, it's gone.
And the idea is that, hey, we'll get some new people in, they'll get a free comic book, and then maybe they'll buy some other things, and that rarely happens.
Yeah.
A lot of times, mom comes in with their 6 little kids, say, I want 6 free comic books for these 6 kids here, and then they will walk out.
Who texted Joe Schmoe to me today? Somebody did.
Me. I did.
It was Brian. Brian did.
It was me.
Okay. But so I got the text and I looked at it and I'm like, what word was he trying to spell? What's a jokeskamo? What is the
Jokeskamo?
I was like, what could he possibly have been trying to say? And I'm staring at it, CJ. Like, what if just came into this place and I'm like, what is? And
Did you misspell it?
And
or?
then it was like JO space and then like SCHMO, and I'm like, I don't even know. I don't think I've ever seen it written, right? So seeing it in my text thread, I'm like, I don't even know how to answer that. I don't want to be a dick.
Wasn't Ralph Garman the host of the Joe Schmoe show? Isn't that a thing that existed?
I've never seen it in print. So seeing it for the first time, right? And then I just heard it again, but it was CJ said it this time. So I'm now like my whole day is filled with Joe Schmoe.
Joe Schmoes. All right. The final question I have, Brian, is: do you know anything about Secret Empire? What the heck this is centered around? Is this something that people will actually go buy? Do you think?
I do know that. Over the past year, they've been doing the storyline where Captain America is secretly a Hydra agent.
Oh, right. This thing. Yes.
This is the big event where his big plan comes to fruition. He probably gets outed as a Hydra agent. That's their big crossover event. He's got some villains in tow with him.
Like, is this going to be like a Flashpoint thing? Like, you know what I mean?
And then it's reset.
Probably. Let's face it. Comic books reset all the time, but
JR wakes up. The whole thing was a dream.
This is probably going to be something that lasts in the universe for about a year before they reset. That's my guess.
All right.
All right. Yeah,
So this is exciting. This is a good time to go ahead and be a member of the comic book community. And hey,
It's always a good time to be a member of the comic book community.
It's very true. You're absolutely
always.
Right. So going on with more comic book news, Todd McFarlane today, Todd McFarlane this week actually gave out some details about the Spawn reboot, which I didn't know was happening.
Yeah.
Here's what he said. Let me read what he says. Listen, I'm going to paint it for you. The movie is going to be dark R. If here is PG-13, here's Deadpool, and here's Logan just going up and up, we're going to be up here. And I'm going to be dark. It's going to be nasty. I've already talked to Stan, and he's going for it. So it's the trend again of, Deadpool really said, hey, rated R, movies are comic book movies are possible, right? Then Logan came out and said, oh, you think you've got a rated R? Let me show you what I'm working with. And then Todd McFarlane we're just gonna obliterate that. We're just gonna really go for the R rating. So here's my question too. Did you guys see Logan yet? I mean, that's a dumb question. Josh, did you see Logan yet?
No, but feel free to talk about it.
Okay, because it was, I liked it. I liked it a lot. A lot of people lost their heads, literally lost their heads in the movie. And Brian's gone insanely quiet, which makes me worried.
I'm waiting for you to be done with your thoughts on the film.
I enjoyed it. I like the direction they went in. And now I'm afraid to say anything else.
Brian's going to squeak. He's going to go squeak.
Why are you looking at me like I need to approve of your opinion of this?
No, I feel like I'm going down a path and you're going to hit me with a counterpoint, and I don't like that. I'm worried now that you're not.
I feel like you should say your entire feelings of the movie, so
that
I can say my entire feelings of the movie.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought that they balanced the difference between a comic book movie and an action movie. And a lot of people, as I was leaving the theater, Josh, and I said that they were going to say this, is a lot of people said, I forgot this was a comic book movie. I thought I was just watching an action movie.
Those people have never seen comic book movies.
They compared it to John Wick. So take that for what it is. I didn't say this. It was the people next to me. Go ahead, Brian.
Were they drooling?
They were mall walkers and mouth breathers, right? Yeah.
Is it my turn now?
It's always your turn.
I loved it. I thought it was really, really well done. I did squee a lot, but
they didn't get a hard R?
They got a hard R.
Oh yeah, it was an R movie.
It's not a dark R.
Was it a dark one?
It's not a dark hard
R.
It's not one of those that
hard dark R.
Right, yeah. It's not a hard dark R. That's something you find on RedTube, Josh. But no, I thought it was amazing. I would say, and this is I'm not the first person to say this, but it's like Marvel's Dark Knight. It was a good movie that was also about a superhero.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm man enough to admit this, but I kind of got teary-eyed at the end.
Oh, I cried.
And because the movie, like, it just sucked you in, and when everything kind of ends, you're like, oh my gosh, it's over. And more importantly, I'm never going to get to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again.
Yeah, and the send-off they gave him was perfect. I mean, it really was. You couldn't ask for anything better. They did a great job with it.
I equate it as like a Western movie. It was like a Western movie with superheroes. It was like an old Clint Eastwood, like Unforgiven type of film with Wolverine.
There were a lot of good Easter eggs and tips to the hat, and really was, I think, a great fitting tribute for Hugh Jackman, who's been doing this since, 17 years?
Yep, 17 years, 1999.
Jeez. So, way to go. Loved Logan. Anyway, Spawn, it's going to be a dark R, whatever that means, and we're going to go on the trends of that. It's also not supposed to be an origin movie. It's supposed to focus more around just the character Spawn and not so much the whole...
Yeah, Todd McFarlane, believe it or not, has been working on this movie forever.
I believe it for sure. Todd McFarlane doesn't quit things, right? He's like, I'm going to do it until it's perfect.
I'm going to keep drawing Venom a million different ways because I'm going to find the way I like to do it.
It doesn't matter. It's got to be perfect. And the thing is that Image Comics, I mean, it's not tiny, but it's certainly not, Marvel DC size, and Spawn is one of the best known characters in comic books.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So
I will give you that.
I mean, McFarlane created him, right? drew him Genesis from, I don't know if it ever changed. Did it ever change? It never changed.
Yeah, it did, but he drew him for
Forever,
very long
right?
time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously went on to, do other stuff. Spider-Man is iconic.
Oh God,
The McFarlane Spider-Man is my favorite thing ever. Everybody knows that
Absolutely.
I'm on record saying it a bunch of times. Sign me up. Right? I mean, I don't want it to be, here's the thing. I don't want it to be like a giant box office, whatever, right? Just make the goddamn movie.
So in an earlier interview that I saw before this, whatever CJ pulled up here, he literally said he doesn't want to make a big budget. He wants to make it on I think he said $60,000 or something like that. And he wants to make it a horror movie. More like a horror movie, but with Spawn.
Oh, I can see that. Okay.
So
I think
I'm
the
on board for
budget's
that.
going to be a little bigger than that.
Have you
but-
ever seen...
No, but I understand horror movies come in with low budgets, make high margins.
Crap,
It's
what the heck? Have you ever seen the fan-made short of Spawn that they did?
no, I have not.
Hang on. I'm finding it.
But I'll put the link in the show notes for everybody else.
I will. It's called Spawn the Recall. And it's honestly, if you guys haven't seen this, it's not long.
How long are we talking about?
Hang on. I'm pulling it up on YouTube right now. I'm going to send it to you. We're talking about 8 minutes. So my point is, if they do that movie like that, and that was a fan film made with, probably like $6 and some bubble gum and a dream.
They should get that guy to do the movie.
Yeah, it was really good, right?
That was awesome.
That's what I'm saying. If the
Everybody should watch that. Everybody. So look, and it went dark fast, right?
Yeah.
And suspense built, and right when I thought it was going to go worse, it went very comic booky,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I got instantly excited because I thought, I'm like, this is gonna be bad. It's not gonna be good, right? Because it went dark so quickly, and I thought it was gonna be very, very horror filmy, and then it just got very awesome very quickly.
Yeah, it seems really cool, and just like you said too, this doesn't have to be a raging blockbuster with a $18 million budget.
No. That's not what I said.
That's
I'm
what
afraid you heard.
No, but
Give me a
I heard
lot of
what
bacon.
Brian said.
Give me a lot of bacon and eggs. And what I said was, give me
all the bacon and eggs you have. Yes.
Right. That's not what either one of us said.
That's what Brian said.
No. Neither one of us said it doesn't need to be. We say we hope it's not.
True.
'Cause it
That's
shouldn't be.
Pretty much what I was saying. Because it shouldn't be. If
And
it's like that, the movie will be gangbusters.
And if it's made too big, it's gonna flop.
And honestly, in this scenario, Joe Schmoe, who goes, likes horror films, would really enjoy a movie like that.
Yeah, he
was-
would see that.
Excellent. Yeah. It was very good.
So speaking of movies that could maybe let you down and flop, our fantastic friends over at Ranker have put together 13 of the worst supervillain performances in comic book movies. I'm very curious to get your feedback on some of these to kind of see if they're properly ranked in your opinion.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Oh, well, please start us off, Josh.
Are they so? The thing that I never liked about Ranker is that there doesn't seem to be any order, right? Like it would seem to me that if you ranked it 13 to 1, I know that you'd be counting down. But if you're going 1 to 13, then I just think you're giving me a list. So
Well, the number one is usually the one that has been.
It's user moderated. So we can, if you think that Venom, Topher Grace's Venom is worse, you would rank it up.
okay, so this
And
is
the
ranked
list
in
is constantly
ascending
changing.
order,
Yes, correct.
which
And the
So,
list is constantly changing
which
depending
lacks all
on
drama.
users.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So they have Scott Adkins in Deadpool as the number one as of the time of this recording.
Okay.
Which when
I
they-
got to correct you. Scott Adkins as Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Right.
Yes.
There you go.
The merc with the mouth without a mouth. I agree with that.
Well, I mean, if you go to number 2 and you see Topher Grace's Venom, then immediately Scott Adkins isn't the worst.
I'm
You
going
go
to
to
disagree
4
with you on
and
that
you've got
one.
Peter Sarsgaard as Hector Hammond, and that was pretty awful.
That was pretty awful.
Right? You got Dr. Doom in there at number 5. That was god-awful. Arnold
Yes.
Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. That was really terrible.
That was terrible.
Jamie Foxx as Electro might be worse than anything I've said so far. They've got Jared Leto as the Joker, which I don't think belongs there. And as a matter of fact, he's not overwhelmingly. Vinnie Jones is Juggernaut. He's the Juggernaut, bitch. It's whatever. He had
Holy pork chop sandwiches.
one line, right? Who cares? Madam Viper.
Yeah, from the Wolverine.
I don't even remember her. So
That should tell you something, that the performance
You
was
can't
not.
pronounce the actress's
Oscar
name
Isaac
either.
as Apocalypse.
I didn't think that was his fault. I think it
How
was
did
the
he make
movie's
that
fault.
list? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the movie's
Listen,
fault,
listen.
not him.
Oh
John
my God.
Leguizamo was great as clown.
Let's be clear. None of these are the actor's faults. It's all the movie's fault.
Nope.
Topher Grace could have been a really good Venom given
Arnold
the right script.
Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze was bad to begin with him as that choice,
Yeah.
and
But
you
it
know
was
it.
Ice to see
and
me.
last on the list is Christopher Eccleston as Malekith, and I'm not going to fault Christopher Eccleston for anything. And
Yeah, I can't do that.
look, the problem with a Thor villain is that he's a Thor villain. If he's not named Loki, nobody gives a shit.
I at least agree
Because
with the top
Thor
two.
is B-list, Brian, is what I'm saying. Super
I get it.
B-list.
I get it.
And I don't think John Leguizamo has any business being on this list at all.
No, that actually, and we just talked about Spawn, right? And
Yes.
and that while the movie wasn't
John
good,
Leguizamo was awesome.
or it was yeah, right. And it just right. Leguizamo was the best part of that.
Brian, I like that we're in agreement with 1 and 2, though. I think that's the right order of things.
Oh, no. I'm not in agreement with 1 and 2. I'm in
No?
agreement with 1. Dr. Doom should be above
Oh,
Topher
okay.
Grace's Venom.
All right. Yes.
Absolutely not. Like, I'll give Topher Grace number 3. As much I thought, I just think the movie fell short. I think Topher Grace could have been a fine Venom if they did, it better. But that Dr. Doom was, I can't even put into words how awful it was.
That's pretty bad.
It was bad. It was really bad.
I don't think Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor deserves a number 3 ranking.
Nor do I.
It deserves to be on the list, but
Yes,
not number 3.
But you do not pick a fight with that man.
You don't. He had a bunch of good one-liners, man.
Did.
And he had Jolly Ranchers, which made me feel really uncomfortable.
I think maybe that's why he's on the list, is the Jolly Rancher scene.
that
just
Jolly
right
Rancher
there.
scene ruined everything,
You know
every
what the-
one-liner he ever had.
And I feel like that was Eisenberg's choice. I feel that's actor choice and not in the script. Intimidate him with what? I don't know, whatever you got. I have a Jolly, Rancher.
Ranchers. I'm
Is
going
it
to
sour
force
watermelon?
feed this
No,
Jolly
no,
Rancher
sir.
to
It's
him.
cherry. This is no good at all. So I'm curious to hear what you, the fans, have to say about this list. As
I'm going to
Josh
watch
says,
that movie now.
Really?
Yeah, just for the Jolly Rancher scene.
Okay. I'm really curious to hear what you, the fans, have to say about this list. As Brian has said, it's ever changing, so some of these rankings could be different by the time you look at it. But I'm curious to see if you kind of agree with our assessment of it and where Ranker has it. So please make sure to tweet at us at That Kind of Nerd, or put a comment on our website, thatkindofnerd.com. Tell us what you feel about for this ranking.
By the way,
Yes.
going back to Logan,
Yes.
I saw a video on the YouTubes
Yes.
of like this no, it was like this homage to the 17 years that he's been playing
Was it
Wolverine.
a montage or an homage?
It was montage. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Well, they took the Hurt song from Johnny Cash from the original Logan trailer, and they put in all these scenes in from every X-Men movie, Wolverine scene, like really pivotal scenes, and I cried a little. I'm just
That's
gonna
cool.
say.
No,
It was really good.
Yeah, those scenes are emotional, especially when put in context of the character, right? Because the movies didn't do that so well, but the moments that they got right were all really pretty pivotal moments in the books.
They did this really good job of taking every single death scene and just putting it in there. So like you just see him like kneeling down, crying,
It's just
holding
Jean- it's just Jean
holding
Grey all
Storm.
It's just
Jean Grey's like twice in there.
Right,
and
That's
it's
true.
Like,
Yep.
it's like, God, that sucks. Poor Wolverine.
I would like to. All right, I want to spend very little time on this. Very little time, since we're still in Cape Talk.
We're still in Cape Talk.
Ryan, how'd you feel about the Deadpool teaser before Logan? Which I thought was great to have it before rather than after.
Yeah, you can't put anything after
No.
that movie.
And
After
did you
that
see
movie.
the
Like 3
extended-
minutes. It was awesome.
And did you see the extended one online
Yes.
where Stan Lee makes his cameo?
Yes, it's like 3 seconds extended. But
It's,
yes,
yeah,
all
it's
that
like,
matters.
the whole thing was like 3 minutes and 14 seconds, and
Yes.
2 minutes and 50 seconds of it, he was in a phone booth.
It was
which
great.
was
And
great.
there were Easter eggs all over it. There was the Hope inside of the phone booth mocking Batman vs Superman. There was the Cable reference on the outside of it. Logan on the marquee. It was
really good.
There was not a
highly
whole lot of
enjoyed
hope in there. Though.
it
No.
was no.
No, there was no hope for that guy. Deadpool was not able to save him. No, I was fantastic.
And then
I
he ate
loved
his
it.
Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, he
What a
ate his
move.
ice cream.
You're not going to eat this, right?
I'm very hopeful for that movie still. Hold on.
I usually like truth is I probably
first
should
one
have
was-
just called the police.
first one was fun,
Yes.
right? It was fun.
Yes.
If the second one is as fun, I'm good with it, right?
That's what they
You know
need.
what other movies were fun? Movies like A-Team and The Losers that will never get a sequel, even though they both deserve them.
They're so good.
Amen.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
Josh,
but
I'm
that's
just agreeing with you
Deadpool
everywhere.
is the comic book, right? Losers, the comic book
Yeah.
A-Team, right?
Losers was a comic book, but okay.
But that's not what I mean. I mean,
Mainstream comic book.
thank
I
you.
got you.
Yes,
Apologies.
like MCU type, even though it's not.
I'm
but
just nitpicking at this point.
Stop nitpicking.
I'll nitpick.
Go back to
I
agree
feel
with
like
him,
you've been
goddammit.
gone for a month. Why have you been gone so long?
It's true.
I had to like bait CJ into arguments and then win them.
because I wasn't there to
Because
get
you
him to start
weren't
arguing.
there, right?
That's true.
Because
That's
you weren't-
exactly-
I had
that is
to
actually what
bait
happened.
him into arguments and then win, and then when he conceded, go, I don't fucking believe you're sincere. Like I had to do everything you would have done, and I felt so dirty afterward.
You
Oh,
played
okay.
both
Just
parts.
because I wore your skin for like 2 hours.
I feel
Oh,
like
you
I
should
should have
never
given
want
him some
that.
money afterwards just to make him. All right, so there's a final bit of Cape Talk today, which, by the way, we're still on Cape Talk. There's a final bit of Cape Talk for today, and that is that every episode of Power Rangers is going to be streamed online in a 17-day marathon on Twitch, of all places. By the way, this isn't just like, oh, the original series. It's all 831 episodes of Power Rangers. Yeah, you heard me right. There's 831 episodes of Power Rangers.
I saw I've seen the trailer a couple times. The movie looks great.
Yeah, movie
I
looks
don't
fantastic.
know anything about it, but like just at face value, it looks
Yeah.
great.
I'm really excited to go see it soon.
I feel like
I'm
I
just
probably
confused.
shouldn't watch any of the stuff on Twitch though.
Oh
No,
yeah,
you shouldn't.
no.
I'm confused if CJ is happy or saddened by this.
I'm in mixed, because while the nostalgia part of me is like, I want to watch this. When you actually watch the old school Power Rangers, it hurts. Like
Right.
it hurts deep.
So don't watch it.
I'm not going to, but the fact is, a lot of people are, and
But
like,
you're going to force us to talk about the fact that
we have to
it's
acknowledge there are some people who would like to watch this, Brian, and we need to let them know about this. We are their dose of nerdy news. They don't know this.
Oh,
It's
okay.
831 episodes. Of
All right,
Power
we're
Rangers.
their line of news. I got you.
Right. We're going to give it to them, the people.
Give it back to you, the people.
So that is the end of our Cape Talk, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, the internet had some weird things going on it. So the internet had a lot of weird things happening with
Going
it,
on
and-
it.
Yeah, that's why I got rid
It's
of
the
it.
internet.
It's
There's
like,
always
it
weird
was
things
the
going on
internet's-
it.
It was the internet's weird high school friends that were humping next to it on the couch. Is what I heard from CJ. It was the internet's weird friends with the too much public display that wouldn't stop making out right
I've
next
ruined-
to you on
I've
the
ruined
sofa.
I ruined another pair of corduroys. So if you are a fan of Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera, I've got some fantastic news for you. They're going to get their own streaming service.
Yes. I'm all for this.
I have a fundamental problem with your intro to this topic.
Okay, go ahead.
You use the word if.
Everyone's a fan of Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera.
As if there were an option. Like if you weren't, right? If you weren't a Bugs Bunny fan or a Scooby-Doo fan, right? Like, I mean, there's a ton of characters in there to love, right? Hanna-Barbera had like Quick Draw McGraw and
Huckleberry Hound.
Huckleberry Hound, right? Didn't they have
Snagglepuss, McGillicuddy Gorilla,
Yeah,
Wacky
man.
Races. Of
Yeah.
course, the Flintstones and the Jetsons.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera had the dog that would laugh. Like,
Muttley.
Muttley. And Dastardly Do Wrong or whatever his name was with the race car, right?
Yeah, it's Wacky Races.
Yes.
I own that.
Fucking dog.
I own that shit.
The dog
Dick
cracks me the
Dastardly
hell
and
up.
his flying machines.
Every time the dog laughs, I lose my shit completely. I don't even know why. It's involuntary. But look, there should be. I already kind of thought there was a network airing Hanna-Barbera 24/7.
So there used to be Boomerang, right?
Yeah, Boomerang. Yeah, that.
Okay, well, it went away, and now it's coming back, but it's coming back as a streaming service.
Yes,
How much?
I will pay.
So there's two pricing models for this. Are you ready? $5 a month
Yeah.
or $40 a year.
Well, that's a great value.
Fantastic value.
Amazing value.
Yes. It's going to be on Android and iOS and on the web.
Get a huge
And then
discount. Just $40.
Yeah, it's just the way to do it.
I want for a moment everyone to think about $40. What is $40? Right? It's a tank of gas. Right? You and a bunch of your idiot friends get a couple pizzas, and because the one asshole can't do without it, you get the stupid chocolate thing too.
Oh, okay,
right?
yeah.
And then it makes it $40. It would have been 28 if Jimmy could have laid off.
God damn it, Jimmy.
Of the chocolate pizza.
Jimmy,
But
we've had
he
this
couldn't
discussion
do
before.
without it. He doesn't like regular pizza. He had to have the chocolate pizza. So it's $40. You know what, Jimmy? That $40.
Oh, Joe Schmoe. Is it Joe Schmoe?
No,
doing
it's
that?
Jimmy. It's always Jimmy.
Okay.
I could have subscribed to this Hanna-Barbera thing for the whole year. Apple TV app, gimme.
It's going to be on iOS and Android and the web first, and then they're going to expand and eventually build out Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. So not
Score.
right away, Josh, but it'll come to you. But for $40,
I'm in.
Dude,
Sign me
I many moons ago was in a Big Lots, one of those like secondhand stores, and they have all these.
the other day, yeah.
dude, there's a Big Lots right by my house.
Yeah,
I'm there
they
way
have
too
all
often.
these like really cheap DVDs, right? They're like $5, $6, $8 sometimes, like
Yes.
stuff like that. I went in there one
For
day,
like
and,
sets.
right? I went in there one day and they had all of these Hanna-Barbera sets, like all of these Hanna-Barbera sets, and I just started just loading them up in my hands. I got Wacky Races, I got all 5 seasons of the Flintstones, Birdman, Space Ghost, Dick Dastardly and his flying machines, and a crap ton of others,
Dude,
like all
Birdman's
$8 a
legit.
piece. Oh, I know it's legit. That's why I bought it, and it was awesome. And I watched them all constantly.
So I'm happy for your bargain find, and
They look awesome on my shelf, Josh.
and sad because I know that was a Hanna-Barbera warehouse liquidating.
Yeah, I know. It was
Aw.
upsetting.
Is what
that's
that
right.
was, right? So,
That's exactly what that was.
but nonetheless, amazing shelf displays / DVDs anytime you want to watch them, which is pretty amazing.
Exactly.
You know what's funny is this. Like, somehow in this conversation, Looney Tunes has taken second billing.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And
It's true, though.
I could watch Roadrunner cartoons for the rest of my life and be a happy man, right? The same cartoon. It's over and over and over, right? Give me all of it. Sylvester the Cat, tell me he's part of this.
Of course.
Yeah. Give me Sylvester the Cat all the time. Tweety Bird.
I was always partial to Marvin Martian. All the Marvin Martian.
Yeah,
cartoons. I used to have those on VHS.
Marvin was in and out, right? He was Bugs Bunny. He was in and out of all of the other shows, right?
He had a couple things with Bugs. He did a couple. Duck Dodgers, obviously. I'd want to say there's only a handful of actual cartoons with Marvin in them, but I loved all of them. I don't know why.
Possible in any way for a streaming service like this maybe to do its own original stuff and maybe do a new Jetsons?
They allegedly, and I don't know what any credence this has, is going to include some new series. One of them is going to be a comedic fantasy called Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. I don't know what it entails, but there also is going to be some new series, but they gave little details besides this Wizard of Oz thing.
Have you ever watched Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law?
I'll take the case.
It's such a great show.
No.
And so the whole concept is that Harvey Birdman, after being Birdman, he retires from superherodom. He becomes a lawyer, and he just defends all these cases for just a bunch of Hanna-Barbera characters. But one of my favorite bits in there is the Jetsons come in. I forget what the case that they're they need Harvey Birdman to take, and he's like, "Oh, where are you from?" And George Jetson's like, "We're from the distant future of the year 2000." Harvey looks at his calendar. It's like May 2012, and he's just like, "Okay." A great show.
I need a new. The Jetsons were, Craig last week on the podcast talked about DuckTales, right? Yep. And when I was a kid, it was in the morning, it was the Jetsons, and then there were a few other shows, but all sort of leading up to The Price is Right and My Soup, right? Which was the important part. But the Jetsons, I recall vividly waiting for that show every morning. And if I could get some more Jetsons in my life, I will be a very happy boy.
I'm going to watch Harvey Birdman tonight. I got a huge night ahead of me.
So it's coming. Boomerang will launch some point in this spring, with subscriptions, like I said, starting at $4.99 a month or $39.99 a year. As Josh said, just don't let Jimmy order that fucking pizza.
He doesn't need the chocolate lava cake, not from Papa John's. Just get it elsewhere.
Mr. Burns. I have very strong feelings about the movie experience, right? And going to the movie theater.
Did you say movie theating?
Yeah, I did. Whatever.
I do indeed.
So I have very strong feelings about going to the movies and the movie theater experience.
I do indeed.
Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies.
In Southern California.
Let's all go to the movies.
In Southern California, they are going to be debuting, they're going to be debuting playgrounds inside your movie theater while the movie is playing.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I saw this, right? I saw it,
yes.
Right? And I thought, this, okay, all right, so here's what I thought. This idea is what fucking hell looks like.
Yes. Okay,
this is it.
I was worried.
No. This right here, there's... What you see, okay, so if you guys look at the picture, I'm sure CJ posted it in the show notes, and you go to the show notes and you click on it, there's a sort of red slide. It's actually not a red tube slide, it's Lucifer.
Yes.
In hell, laughing at you, trying to watch a movie for eternity, hearing screaming children. There's probably one throwing up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What the hell? Because even at the drive-in, you're not allowed to play on the playground once the movie starts. That's ridiculous.
I know for a certainty that I would never set foot in here, but be subjected to it on some child's birthday.
So the remodeled auditoriums at this Cineplex that I'm not going to name will feature colorful playing areas near the screen in the front and seats and jungle gyms and cushy beanbag chairs right at the proscenium. No
question.
This is for people. This is for people that treat the movie theater like a social event.
Yes,
and those people don't actually exist, or if they do, probably should cease to exist. I'm inviting anyone who treats the movie theater like a social event to die, if you would.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you lift the beanbag chairs?
Well, who gives a shit?
I give a shit because I will pick up a beanbag chair.
No, man.
I'll beat little kids all the day long.
You just beat them with the beanbag
Just with the beanbag chair. Like any kid who starts running towards that slide, just wham.
It looks from this schematics here, from what I'm seeing, it looks to me like if you get near it, you actually get infested by every possible virus known to man.
Yeah, just looking at it, I have pink eye. I just have pink eye just by looking at it.
Yes, there's a serious case of conjunctivitis on every rung of this Satan ladder that they've got here.
Do you know why they're doing this? Because
parents can't parent their fucking children anymore?
They hope it will compete with Netflix and other at-home streaming options to entice more parents and children to go to the movies together.
I don't have a scaffolding of death at my house. That's what this is. It's a scaffolding of death. I don't have a scaffolding of death for my children at my house. You know what they have? They have Netflix. Not Netflix and chill, mind you. They have Netflix and shut up.
I like Netflix and shut up.
This here is a scaffolding of death hosted by Lucifer himself.
So this cost them $500,000 to retrofit a theater to be like this. While if other companies, I don't know if you've been to an AMC or a regular theater lately.
I hope it's a code violation and it costs them another $500,000 to remove it.
they've done the right thing to give us those nice relaxing chairs that recline back, and they feel like they feel like a nice lazy boy chair.
can't go there, I sleep.
Oh, you sleep because
I can't go to AMC with the reclining chairs because I sleep.
Yeah,
but I can't go to the local community theater with the old timey chairs that are completely immovable because I lash out with rage. So I need like the in between. I need like the in between. Promenade Carmike 16. We kind of lean back, not enough to be comfortable to sleep, but enough
with the exits clearly marked. Because what if there's a fire?
Because then I'm going to grab my kids and kick people over. Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Christian always spots the exits. He knows where they're at.
I got news for you, Josh. Those exits are probably right by that playground.
Just children getting trampled on people getting out.
I can't believe this is actually happening.
I got to tell you, here's a nightmare scenario for you.
This is wrong.
Brian, biggest blockbuster this summer. What is it?
A number of different things, but
just name the biggest one.
Let's just go with Guardians.
Guardians, fine.
Sure.
Guardians, opening night, right? Everybody's in the theater packed. You had to wait in line, blah, 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 blah.
I did.
Right.
I want to see my movie in peace.
You're sitting there waiting in anticipation, trailers, right? You're getting in them. Everything's good. You got your popcorn, you got your soda, everything's wonderful. Maybe you got your Kung Pao chicken. Yep. But then,
let me
and then you hear it. The creaking of the scaffolding, the children climbing up, right? Parents bringing children ages 2 to 8.
It's designed for 3 to 12.
3 to 12. That's even worse. Look,
it's even worse, right?
But okay, parents instead of staying home, infest your line with their children and their germs, and then you get to watch the premiere night of Guardians with this satanic monstrosity of death to your right. What do you do?
Go in the fetal position and cry a little bit?
I thought you were going to have a seizure so I could get a free ticket to go see the movie.
No, I thought we agreed you would do that next time.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
God.
I have the capsule that makes your mouth foam. It's awesome.
You remember in Heroes where like the Petrelli kid couldn't control the nuclear burst?
Yes.
That's the kind of thing that I feel might happen. Like that GIF might get triggered in this theater because someone will be nuclear angry.
Listen, when it's a movie I'm really excited about, for example, let's say Guardians, I will go to my friends, the people who are closest to me, and say, if you utter one word during this 2.5-hour movies, I will fucking cut you. Do you really think I'm going to give a shit about some kids on a playground? I will tear somebody up.
Some kid's going to break something, and his parents are going to be like, you know what? It's gonna have to wait a minute because this is really good right now.
Yeah. To be fair, which I can't believe I ever had to say, this is this is going to happen, all right? Just so everyone knows, this is happening on March 16th. So write to your congressman, whatever you got to do.
Wait, on purpose?
On purpose for Disney's Beauty and the Beast remake. They're going to be debuting this in this crummy theater.
Oh, I'm not going to have occasion to see it.
Right, the movies that they're going to be doing for this, because they're doing a select series, is Finding Dory, Secret Life of Pets, Jungle Book, Zootopia, Sing, and Zootopia.
These are movies where kids should be sitting in their seats watching the goddamn movie. Why
so they're not doing this for
playground?
They're not doing this for every movie that comes out, right? There's only going to be select movies using this theater, blah blah blah. But it's still atrocious.
Listen, no, stop, just stop. No, there's no to their credit, because there are plenty of people our age without children who have decided not to procreate because maybe they don't have anyone, or maybe they're just smart and know they shouldn't procreate, who actually enjoy those movies and go to see them. And don't want this bullshit in their theater.
So they don't go to the kids' theater.
I'm just
saying you're not going to get this to happen in Guardians of the Galaxy. They're not doing that.
Could it be that the kids, okay, they start the movie, they start Finding Dory, Secret Life of Pets, one of these animated movies, they start the movies, they watch. And I mean they behind the mirrored glass, right? Behind the one-way glass. They, quote unquote, they watch. They watch, the kids get up, start to play on the jungle gym of death and satanic jungle gym. And, right, some of them get bored and they go back to their seats. And some of them, they just can't stop playing, right?
Right.
Those kids jump down. The people come out from behind the glass. They hand them a bottle of Ritalin, and we've identified the folks with ADHD. Could this be a diagnostic tool?
No, I don't think so, because that would be a useful.
It's kind
purpose.
of I feel like that's how they hand
It would
out
be a useful
the,
purpose,
the
and that's not
Ritalin
what's happening
anyway, right?
So I would love to.
They're available at the concession stands right next to the Skittles.
Skittles.
Would you like a bag
Milk
of Skittles or a bag of Ritalin?
Which one would you
Reese's
like?
Pieces, the little cluster things, or the Ritalin.
Listen, can I get a bag of Ritalin and so I can just put it in the popcorn?
I like
Yes.
While I eat.
yes.
Remember when we did movie
Ritalin.
theater hacks? There's your movie theater hack. Put your Ritalin in your popcorn. How about that?
More importantly, can they charge an extra $10 for this ticket and make it like
Three. It's extra
$3?
$3 per ticket.
No, screw that noise.
Than a normal movie theater
I
ticket.
gotta
It's
tell
a
you, man,
$3
for
extra.
super irresponsible parents, babysitting is like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
This is significantly less expensive.
All right, so I want to move on, and I want to do a little bit of a palate cleanse so we can have happy thoughts come through here. And Brian,
CJ?
I'm
You're
going
going to give
quiz
us
you.
a topic amuse-bouche right now?
I'm going to quiz Brian. Brian, you have said on this podcast that you are the only person who can really call themselves a gamer.
Oh my gosh.
here. So here's what
gonna
I
quiz
have. I
me?
have a list of 12 sounds that gamers will never forget.
Okay.
Oh no.
A couple of them are really obvious. So just don't be,
Disclaimer, I'm extremely tired and I have an early day tomorrow.
Listen, you're going to be fine. Are you ready?
All right.
I'm going to play the sound. You got to tell me what it is.
That's the sound of Link opening a chest in any Zelda game ever. Is that the second one?
That's the second one.
Can you play for me again?
Isn't that like a Super Mario World collecting a?
It's not Mario.
Okay, I don't have it.
I want to say it's in the Zelda series, but I can't. I don't know.
It's the Game Boy startup screen.
Oh, it's the Game Boy startup screen. Son of a whore.
All right. All right. Here we go. Next one. You ready?
I don't know what that process noise is.
No.
No clue.
It's Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, son of a.
It's Crash.
Okay, it's Crash. All right, the next one's a Sonic ring. I know.
Right.
that.
Next one's the Sonic Ring.
That's the
Mario Kart.
the
right?
Mario Kart box
Yeah.
choosing.
Okay. Next one.
I heard Mario jumping.
That's the Mario jumping
coin,
and getting a coin. Hit
Right.
the box.
Then the next one's really obvious.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I know that noise. Oh,
I'm going to give you a hint. Josh, would you like a hint? I'll give you a hint.
yeah, go.
In the 1990s, you had no internet because your dad was on the phone and you had to play a game on your computer. What did you play?
Duke Nukem or Doom.
No, it's the Pinball Arcade.
Pinball Arcade.
Holy shit. Good job, Brian.
It's the only thing. You know what? My roommate still has them on floppy disks.
All right, here we go. Ready for the next one.
It's the GoldenEye Death.
Yeah.
That's health recharging in Halo.
Yes!
Wow.
Yes.
Health recharging in Halo.
Wow.
And then Sega, the Sega. Sega. Oh, that's the PlayStation startup. Come on, man.
Way to go! That's it. That's all of them.
Oh,
was
so I got
awesome.
most of them.
You got most of them. I didn't
was
keep
expecting
tally. I was
some-
too busy.
I was expecting some. Oh, I didn't get the Crash Bandicoot one.
I had
and the
like
Game
two
Boy
of
one.
them.
Crash Bandicoot. You got the pinball at the.
Yeah,
That was
call that.
clutch.
That was good.
The pinball was clutch.
That was good.
yeah. Even I got.
So I'm inviting our listeners to challenge us. Send us a sound clip and try to have us identify it from a video game. I'll take from a movie, whatever you got.
You need to say where it's. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to know sort of.
Don't
what
just
it's
start
from.
making shit in your basement and then like
Here's a
this is
sound.
cornstarch and apple juice.
Honestly,
Some guy
please-
farting into a dictaphone, sending it to
Please
CJ.
make it from a movie, a video game, whatever you've got this pulp culture related that we cover. Send it on over and let's see if we can identify it. I'm very happy, Brian. I'm very, very glad.
That I had no friends growing up, so I played all the video games. So before we wrap up, if you're a fan of everything that we talk about here on That Kind of Nerd, especially the Cape Talk stuff, I'm going to highly encourage you to start listening to our other podcast, Hey Did You See? Right now, we are currently watching Sneaky Pete, which is on Amazon Video, and kind of giving our thoughts about it. And now we're going to start going into Iron Fist, which premieres on Netflix on the 17th. So you're going to have some time to actually watch the first couple episodes. We're going to start by watching the first 2 episodes, and on the 29th, you'll be able to hear our thoughts about the show. But just to give you a little background, Iron Fist is a Marvel comic book started in 1974, pretty much based around a character named Danny Rand, who goes missing for a while and actually learns these ancient martial arts and becomes a wielder and a powerful martial artist and a master of the Iron Fist technique. I know it's going to be a really great show. I'm extremely excited. I think everybody else, Josh and Craig and CJ, are really excited too. And I highly encourage you all to start listening to this. Again, we're going to be dropping the first episode on March 29th. So start watching Iron Fist on the 17th so you guys can enjoy it with us.
Absolutely. You can find Hey Did You See on your favorite podcasting app. Just search Hey Did You See. You can also support That Kind of Nerd by going to shop.thatkindofnerd.com and buying yourself a cat to mail ratio t-shirt. Because why not? So make Brian happy by sharing the knowledge with the world that the cat to mail ratio at his palatial estate is very low. Again, go to shop.thatkindofnerd.com, help support the show, and have yourself a fantastic t-shirt. I'd like to thank Brian and Josh for staying with me with this episode. Thank you for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. And we will see you guys on Hey Did You See? And we will also see you next week.
He doesn't like regular pizza. He had to have the chocolate pizza.
Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies and find something to eat.